Thank you for joining MPA TV. We are thrilled to launch the new segment, the Specialist Spotlight. This is where we're going to be connecting with brokers who have really become a hero for their borrower, maybe people that have mastered a tricky deal where others couldn't fund. Joining me today, Paige Hernandez, loan originator with Heritage Mortgage, also the founder of Notorious. Paige, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, perfect. So you were telling me just a bit ago that you walked into a customer that really had a challenge with debt service and really kind of got into the weeds with that deal. Tell me more. How were you able to, first of all, get in touch with that borrower?
Yeah, so debt service, by and large, I do a lot of short-term rental clients. I'm real big in hanging out on social, primarily in Facebook groups that where investors hang out, and so I get a lot of referrals from there. Also, I get a lot of other loan originators when they get up a creek without a paddle. They will send their clients to me knowing that this is my bread and butter, because they're easy loans. However, if you don't know the ins and outs or how to save them, they can be really tricky.
Okay, so by easy, which I know some folks will, hey, easy for some, not so much for others. What are some of the, the challenges and just kind of scenarios that you typically are able to solve that maybe others are kind of running into hiccups with?
Yeah. Well, I will tell you first, the easy part about it is that you don't have to calculate income ever, and they're non-trid, so you don't have to follow a lot of rules. So I don't know any of the guidelines or like time weights or anything like that. I just stick right here. So I love that about it. But the challenge with them is that we don't have standardized guidelines from lender to lender. It's not like it's Fannie Mae or FHA where you have standard guidelines and you might have an overlay here and there, but you know the difference between one lender to the next. These are all done on the secondary market. And so from lender to lender, they could have these little idiosyncrasies where for one lender it works and the other lender it doesn't. And so there are plenty of times where I'll take a loan that I have funded 50 which ways from Sunday somewhere else and I send it to a lender and they'll decline it. And I'm like, that's so crazy because everybody else took it. Because their investor particularly might have this certain appetite. So that's the challenge with them is that there is no set guideline, but the great thing about it is they're really like massageable. And so you can go from lender to lender to find the perfect fit for a client.
Okay. So it sounds like you typically work with a very unique borrower, not maybe the traditional purchase and refi. How does that relationship, kind of evolve with that type of client where it might even be a little bit different than, just kind of your, again, traditional purchase and refi? Is there a lot of referral? Is there a lot of repeat business with that type of client?
Well, the best thing about it is the repeat business. You will get referral business from it, but I love it because I work primarily in the investor sector. I only do like debt service, fix and flip, all with investors. And so instead of a primary borrower, they might buy a property every 5 years. I don't know. Like, how often are they buying a primary? They might buy a secondary house, but by and large, they're not buying properties every single year, multiple times a year. But when you work with an investor, you might only work with like 10 clients solidly, but they might be purchasing two, three, four, five houses a year. And so that instead of working directly, say, with a real estate agent that's going to send you deals, you work with an investor that's going to buy multiple times a year. So I love that factor. Yeah, yeah. Investors know other investors as well. Like I was saying, like I hang out in Facebook groups a lot. I use in particular a certain marketing strategy in groups called social proof. Um, I was just posting about this the other day because what'll happen is like I'll be in a group with say like 5, 6,000 people for like one's like female short-term rental investors or whatever it's called. And my clients are trained. They know if they see a post and it's like somebody asking for a mortgage professional, they know to comment me. And so there's even times where I'll send that like post to my clients like, "Hey, can you give me a shout out?" And there will be like a post, "Hey, looking for a mortgage professional." And it'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 referrals long of you have to work with Paige, you have to work with Paige, you have to work with Paige. So that thing works. That's my only marketing strategy, like, don't tell anybody, but it's free, and it made me a ton of money last year and the year before. But it's great because it's they're that original poster, but everybody else in that group, it serves as like free advertising. So
Okay, well, outside of the free advertising, and again, we'll keep that a secret, but what advice would you also have for folks that are maybe just wanting to get into the investor space? You know, maybe folks that have just kind of started a couple of years ago, they're kind of want to get in their toe in the water to, do non-traditional lending, do non-owner occupied residencies. What advice would you have for brokers to get kind of started in that space?
yeah, as far as a marketing standpoint, I would say with anything, whatever you focus on is what you're going to attract. And so be really intentional about how you want your business to look. It is my business is by design. Like I want to make more money with less effort. And so and also I'm on social and social puts me across the entire nation. So I need a product that number one takes me nationwide and I don't have to have the licensing or I have to put my license with a bunch of different brokers to have the licensing. So with debt service, these are business purpose loans. By and large, the whole nation, by and large, opens up to you without having a license. And then I want my job to be easy. And so this is why I like the investor loans. No tax returns. Like I'm looking, the borrower brings to the table a good credit score and like money. That's it. Everything else gets made up in the property. I can Google that. So I could do a pre-approval in like 3 minutes. Like it's so easy just with a couple of tools, either looking up long-term rents or short-term rents. I can issue pre-approval so easy. It makes like that's how I want my life to look. And so I would advise maybe a newer mortgage professional is first look at how you want your business to work. What feels good to you? Who do you want to serve? And then pick a product that you can bring to that marketplace. And for me, it was investor products.
Okay. And then, so when you're not doing loans in the investor space, we were talking earlier about Notorious. Rave reviews last year. Can you tell our, listeners and viewers, more about what that event was last year and what you have planned coming this year?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. It was like a dream come true for me. Back at the end of 2023, just was really feeling kind of underserved by what I was seeing across all the stages in mortgage. I mean, it's not like a secret that majority of the stages are men in our industry. But yet the field is like a 50-50 split if you look at the demographics. And so I just got real fed up after a while and like thinking like, I really want to have like a female feminine like leader that I could follow. And nobody was putting that up on the stage. And I saw Christine Beckwith mention something. I don't know if it was on social or wherever, but she said, if you're not being invited on the stage, go ahead and build your own stage. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a stage that's going to be female only. We're going to create a movement for women in mortgage where we can come together. We can get a different way of building business because by and large, the male business model is outwork everybody. And for myself, like, I don't like that business model. I told you guys, like, I want the like easy button and I'm not shy about saying that. I want to make a lot of money with the least amount of effort. I want to do it with ease and grace. I want to attract business to me. And the male model that I continue to see out there is just like outwork everybody. And I'm like, I'm not about that life. And so we created this event last year. You know, my naivete to even think that I could do it, I think really created the success. Because had I known how much it was going to take, how much money it was going to take, the amount of time, all that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't have done it. But so grateful for the people that rallied behind me with our sponsors. Like EPM knocked it out of the park for us, UWM, Lending Pros, Class, like everybody came really rallied behind us to create this event. And so we did a 3-day mastermind for women in mortgage in Austin. It was incredible. The reviews, women came up to me and they said like things like, I didn't even know I had a space in my heart that needed healing with, being a female in mortgage, but something healed inside of me this week. And so it was awesome. And then this year, I didn't have a big old plan. I didn't have like, it wasn't like I was doing an event to sell anybody on anything or had a business plan behind it. I just was really frustrated with what I saw. And so coming out of it, I was like, what do we do next? And so the women really wanted to travel. and I don't travel unless I'm gonna make money with it. So we're hosting a Cabo trip. We're going to do content creation. I hired an award-winning filmmaker and content creator, Michael Caminetti, to come down to Cabo, and then my brand photographer. We're going to film what will become a podcast and a YouTube show featuring women in mortgage. We're going to do that in May 4th through the 7th. So if you're a woman in mortgage and you want to do content creation, you're welcome. And then we'll do our now it's like a annual event in the fall.
Awesome. Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, looking forward to seeing and hearing more about that. And yeah, to the listeners and viewers out there, thank you for joining MPA TV, the Specialist Spotlight, and thank you, Paige, for joining us today.
Thank you so much.